Hello everyone, welcome to the TriStar Gym channel. Today's episode I'm doing a roll narration, and in this roll narration I'm going to be covering a arm attack and triangle combination maneuver that I like to use a lot. A lot of you are very familiar with this position. It's when you have your opponent's upper body in an inverted triangle, and then you have also the Kimura option. So I'm going to be looking at this position, going through some little details that you guys might not know about how to get into it and also how to finish it. And I'm going to be passing the guard here very shortly. I believe there it is. There's my X guard pass. And as my opponent tries to get to his knees, that's when I love to get to my Kimura grip. Watch this. I'm going to get to my Kimura grip. And now watch what I'm going to be doing with my leg here. Putting my leg underneath his armpit like we've discussed in past videos and dropping into a triangle. Okay, so I'm going to show this again here real quick. I'm rewinding. Here's it. Rewind, rewind, rewind. And whenever you go to side control, it's always best to get to north-south because my opponent cannot regard. So here I am. I'm going to be going from side control straight to north-south, sit on top of the head. I already have the underhook there with my right arm, and watch what I'm going to do there. I'm going to try to change it to a Kimura grip, and now watch carefully what I do with my right leg. Okay, my right leg is going to swim under his armpit here on the bottom arm. There it is. I'm going to sit down. Once I have the Kimura and my right foot under his armpit, I can lay down. There's no problem. The guy's not going to be getting up. If he does try to get up, which most people do, he's going to go right into a triangle. Okay, so let's see this here. I'm very safe here. I'm on top. I have my triangle. I just slid into a triangle. There's no way for him to get on top of me right now. There's very few ways, I should say, that he can get on top of me if I know what I'm doing. I'm going to go drag that arm. Very basic stuff. You go pull on that tricep, close your triangle even tighter, and now you have one of the best control positions you can get. And this is a very universal jiu-jitsu type position. This will work in gi, no gi, and of course MMA. This is universal jiu-jitsu that every type of jiu-jitsuka should practice. This is very important jiu-jitsu right here. Now watch here. When I do this move, I used to always just finish the arm. I used to rarely get the triangle because I thought that my legs were not long enough to finish the triangle, and when I fight bigger guys, I was never able to finish the triangle very often. So I kind of lost hope with it a little bit and was always attacking the arm, and I have a lot of success attacking the arm. But since working with Carl Silverfox Pravik, those of you who've seen my triangle video with him just about a month and a half ago, we talked a lot about how to squeeze the triangle, and ever since then I've been doing the Silver Fox squeeze. I'm calling it the Silver Fox squeeze because he taught it to me, and it's been working very well for me. So the Silver Fox squeeze is a little bit different than the traditional squeeze. What you're going to do when you do the Silver Fox squeeze is you're going to squeeze your knees together first. Okay, first you're going to squeeze your knees together, and then you're going to squeeze your knees into your chest. Now this four-way type direction, okay, so the knees are squeezing towards one another, and the knees at the same time are then squeezing towards the chest. So just to make that clear, I'm squeezing my two knees together, and then the second direction of the squeeze, I'm going to be squeezing my knees up into towards my chest, and that's going to make for the Silver Fox squeeze. Now when I do the Silver Fox squeeze, I got to make sure first of all that I have a good tie up on my ankle here. I don't want my ankle, you see here's a pretty good tie up. It's not the best kind of tie up. The best tie up is when your toes are pointing up. Okay, so my toes are not pointing up here. If I had my toes pointing up like this, my foot was a little bit deeper, and I think I might be adjusting it very shortly, I would have a full-on squeeze. Here's a really good squeeze, but it's not a full-on squeeze. Okay, so let's see what happens here. I'm going to squeeze my knees in together. Here it comes. It's very hard to see, okay, because we're already in the hold. And then I'm going to squeeze my knees towards my chest. And my partner's doing a good job trying to block. He's keeping his arm on the right side, which gives him a little bit more breathing room. But this squeeze is just going to be a little bit too much. Now he's going to try to rock back and forth, try to create a wedge. Here comes the squeeze. I'm squeezing my knees together. And now they're squeezing up towards my chest. Very subtle to see, very hard to see. But I am doing the squeeze right now. Here it is. There's a squeeze. And now his arm is on the other side. I think he has no choice now but to tap. So try that Silver Fox squeeze. Again, it has a lot to do with how your ankle's tied up around your knee. And if you can get a good tie up on that triangle, you'll now finish a lot more inverted triangles than you have before. Believe me, that's been my experience. I used to attack the arm a lot more. I used to not really be a big believer in the inverted squeeze. But ever since I've been doing the Silver Fox squeeze, the inverted triangle has been finishing for me. He's been getting the tap a lot in practice. So now here I'm doing a back step. My partner here is going to do a really nice head and arm control bridge escape here. I kind of got caught here in a head and arm. Beautiful technique here. He rolled himself over, but put himself in a headlock. Now when you put yourself in a headlock, you'll notice that a lot of jiu-jitsu schools, we don't teach too much headlocks. You know, a lot of jiu-jitsu teachers just don't teach that. You know why? Because you give up your back. Now here my partner did a good job here not giving up the back. He got up, he escaped and was able to get up. But most of the time when you take somebody in the headlock, it can oftentimes result in your back being taken. So here's my next attempt to pass here. I'm going X pass again. My partner's turning up to his knees. Now when my partner turns up to his knees, I can take the back, of course. Everybody does that. You know, it's a very common scenario. But you can also go into inverted triangles, which I'm going to be doing the next very time my opponent gets to his knees. And we're going to be seeing that that inverted triangle and arm attack combination that we just saw before. And we're going to analyze it once again and see what a powerful hold it is and what other things we can learn from that position. Here I have an arm triangle. My partner's doing a great job here of escaping the arm triangle. He's bridging in towards me, and as I push back into him to keep him down on the floor, he's going to bridge back in the opposite way. That was a beautiful defense there. I'll maybe covering that escape in the near future. That's a beautiful method of escaping. I won't break it down now because that makes the video way too long. And here it is. Here's my partner. I feel like he's really trying to invert to his knees. You know, a lot of guys in the gym are going to be doing this type of escape, especially when they're bigger and stronger than you are. When you have the side control established, just like I do here, and you're trying to pin your opponent, a lot of times what they're going to do is they're going to try to bump and turn to their knees. Now, how do we deal with that? Well, there's a long list of ways you can deal with it, and one of them is to put them in an inverted triangle and then attack the arm. So here I'm trying to attack the arm bar here. My opponent's going to turn into his knees. Eventually he's going to turn into his knees here. Here's another Kimura attack. Here I'm turning him to his knees. I'm turning him to his side here, hoping he gets to his knees. Here comes the Kimura. Here I'm working the Kimura way too hard. Here he is. He's about to turn to his knees here. He wants to invert. He wants to get to his knees. Let's see if he's able to. Once he gets to his knees, watch what I'm going to be doing here. I'm going to be putting him right away into a triangle. Now this is a maneuver that's really difficult to avoid because the man on the bottom absolutely needs to base. Okay, so let me rewind right here. So when he turns to his knees, he absolutely must base on his right arm. So you see his right arm now, it's flat, so there's no space for me. See the space here? I would need some space to slide my left foot in here. There is no space just yet. So let's see what happens here. When he gets to his knees, he must give me that space. Why? Because he has to prop up on his right elbow. See that space there? Look how much space there is for me to tie my triangle in. And now I'm going to slide my triangle in. I'm going to close my triangle either side. And now look, now I have a nice deep lock in the triangle. That's a pretty good lock there. You can see my foot, it's pretty flared open. It's not perfect, but it's still really flared enough for me to finish. Now watch here. Here I see a lot of jiu-jitsu practitioners work the Kimura from here. It's not wrong, it's totally correct. A lot of jiu-jitsu practitioners teach you that way, and I think it's an excellent way to teach it. But here's a different school of thought. Okay, so look, I always want to be mindful of my hips, especially when we're talking MMA. Okay, here's my hips, and there's the level of my head. Okay, there's the altitude of my hips and my head. Now let's look at the altitude of my partner's hips and my partner's head. Okay, so my head is higher than his, but his hips are higher than mine. So what I want to do is I want to make sure that both those yellow lines, my yellow lines, are above his red lines. Okay, it's very important that my hips and my head are always above my opponent. Now this is not a maneuver, this is just a concept in jiu-jitsu. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to abandon the Kimura and I'm simply going to hip heist. I'm going to prop up to my hand, not my elbow, my hand, and I'm going to grab his hip and prop up to my knees. Now when you adopt this kind of philosophy, you're really practicing universal jiu-jitsu. Why? Because this type of jiu-jitsu is going to work in MMA, no-gi, and gi. The jiu-jitsu where you tug on the Kimura and try to finish the Kimura, it's more of a sport jiu-jitsu. Why? Because you're not giving a premium to being on top. In MMA, things are slippery, you don't have a shirt on, maybe your opponent is sweaty, and those triangles can slip out, and those Kimuras can also slip out. So we put a high premium on being on top. So now you could see that my two lines, now my hips and my head, are higher than his hips and his head, and now I'm officially on top. From there I will attack the Kimura. From there I will attack the toe hold. From there I will attack the silver fox squeeze. You can see here I am pinching my knees together. You could see here that I'm pinching my knees towards my chest. You can see I'm doing the silver fox squeeze. However, my ankle here on the other side, the side you can't see my triangle, is not on 100%. My foot is not deep enough, so I've probably I remember, if I remember correctly, I'm probably not getting a full squeeze here. You can see that his arm is kind of flared up. I'm not getting a full squeeze on his neck. So what am I going to do? I'm going to go to plan B. What's plan B? I'm probably going to tip him over towards his basing arm here, or he's going to prop up on his arm. And now watch, I'm going to go back to Kimura. But when I go back to Kimura, I'm going to have a ton of momentum behind me. And now again, look, I'm attacking the triangle and arm attacks at the same time. Now with the Kimura, I have much more momentum to flip him over. And look what position I'm in. I'm in again, once again, into the triangle arm combination. And this triangle arm control combination, I'm going to be putting the silver fox squeeze on him once more, and let's see here how I'm going to tighten it up. I'm going to get my right hand working here. I'm going to pull up on his tricep. My knot here, you guys could see the knot here, the tie up on the triangle here. It's pretty good. It's good. It's not 100% flared. My foot is not 100% open, but it's still pretty good. And there's the tap. You see, I was doing the silver fox squeeze there and was able to get the tap. Again, the silver fox squeeze is not that complicated. It's really takes a matter of practice, but don't squeeze for nothing. You know, once you do it a number of times, you'll know when it's on, and it's on when his arm and head are really well pinched together. I didn't feel that when I was on top there, when I was in that hip heist position, that I had the arm and head well pinched. His arm was kind of flared, so I didn't waste any energy. I just looked for the backup plan, which is the arm. So here I'm going to be trying to avoid bottom position here as much as possible. Like I said, I had a rib injury in this video, so I was trying to really just work from the top position. And I want to show you guys what I like to do with the head and arm. And I know a lot of you guys are working it all the time. Every jiu-jitsu school I go to, everybody does that position. And it's a fantastic position. It's one of the strongest positions in jiu-jitsu. So I really recommend you guys get familiar with it and learn all the little details you can about that position. Here I'm going into a back step here. And I know that my partner is going to try to do that head and arm escape. There it is. All you got to do to stop that head and arm escape here, where they pinch your head and arm, you just got to keep good posture. So here let me rewind it just a little bit here. So you see what he wants to do is he wants to lock his arms here together and kind of pinch my arm and head together like an arm triangle and kind of bridge me over. All you got to do is got to keep a straight back. You know, you just got to keep your back as straight as possible. And when you keep your back really, really straight, they're not able, see, he's not able to lock his hands here. And now look what's happening. I'm going to be dropping into an inside Senkaku, which you guys can, you leg lockers know already what I'm doing. I'm going to give him his grip if he gives me the inside Senkaku, because my inside Senkaku is stronger than his head and arm tie. Watch this. He's going to go to the head and arm tie. I'm going to give it to him now because I sunk down into the inside Senkaku. You guys can see that here. There's the inside Senkaku. I'm going to that leg triangling the leg. Some of you call it the honey hole. I'm going to limp arm here, and if I remember correctly, the bell rings right when I get to my leg lock here, and there it is. I think I'm going to go to leg lock and the bell's going to ring. Alright guys, I want to thank you all for tuning in. I hope you like, share, and comment, and I'll see you all in the next video. Thank you.
When you train a lot, you get tight. The best way to loosen up your muscle is the Tim Tam.
Bonjour, mon nom est Marc-Élie Toussaint, je suis entraîneur de sprint depuis 23 ans. Je travaille au niveau de la vitesse avec Georges Saint-Pierre depuis 4 ans. Je viens de tester le Tim Tam, c'est le meilleur instrument au niveau du relâchement musculaire que j'ai testé de toute ma carrière. Je le recommande à tous.
Hi, I'm Georges Saint-Pierre. I'm using the Tim Tam machine after my training to help me with my recovery.